Hey, what's going on, folks? This is Art coming at you. I noticed San Diego Comic-Con was this week, and just now getting around to talk about it. A lot of things that showed off, but one of the most particular things that showed off this week that has caused a lot of talk within Twitter and comic book circles and stuff like that is the Black Panther trailer. So they dropped the Black Panther trailer at San Diego Comic-Con, and obviously they confirmed that T'Challa is dead in this one. They did not recast him, and it's rumored that Shuri will be the new Black Panther. Now, I've heard a lot of people talk about it while I was working and trying to get the stuff done, so this is probably not going to be new to you, but some people liked the trailer, some people thought it was good, some people thought it was bad. Some people said they should recast, and I'm one of those people that said that they should have recast T'Challa. I really am. But before we get into that, I'll just say this about the trailer. I think this is probably one of the best trailers that Marvel has done aesthetically. The cinematography looks like it's going to be on point. It looks like it's going to be a very well put together production for this movie, just because based off the trailer, it could be a stinker when it comes out. But I am going to have to admit that, sorry, my phone's going off. I will going to have to admit that the trailer itself, from the composition, what they showed, they didn't show too much of the story. Everything about that trailer was on point. I really did like the trailer. Now, do I like the direction they're going? No, I don't. I do not like the direction they're going with Black Panther. For a couple of reasons. One, we all know that Chadwick died tragically from colon cancer, and Disney put out a press conference saying that they will not recast T'Challa. Now, that wasn't a surprise to me, because before Chadwick died, they had already determined that Shuri will be Black Panther at one point in the MCU. Now, we know this is coming from the Black Panther comic, who is the new Black Panther, when you had a female Black Panther, and they were trying to figure out who it was, so they said it was going to be Storm or whoever, and it ended up being Shuri. So, we know that it's Shuri. We know that that was the plan, even before Chadwick had died. Now that Chadwick's gone, he's passed on. Now that's what their plans on doing, because as of now, it seems like the MCU is focusing more on female superheroes, and so you're gonna have a lot more female superheroes that's coming out. And ultimately, I mean, the one thing that you have to say about Black Panther is this: Black Panther was always T'Challa in the comics. I know people want to say, well, it's a mental system. It can be anybody. Listen, as a black male, we haven't had too much representation in geek culture, unless you fit a stereotype within geek culture. Black Panther meant a lot to us black male geeks. He did. He really did. And Black Panther, the movie, meant a lot to young black males. He meant a very good, great deal to young black males. And you cannot deny that. You can't sit there and tell me that you was on Facebook, Twitter, or any kind of social media when you heard Chadwick Boseman died, you did not see not one picture of some black child with his toys doing a funeral scene for Black Panther and doing the Wakanda salute to him. That's how powerful representation is for young black men to see themselves as heroes, as kings, as leaders of people. And this is one of the things that, as someone as myself who grew up in the 80s and 90s and the 2000s, that not recasting T'Challa has really probably hurt a lot of black men. Now, I'm not trying to say all this is racial or anything like that. But I will say this. As a black person, especially a black male, we haven't had too many representations within mostly geek culture. Because let's be honest, even in comic books, sometimes in comic books, we're written with goofy ass fucking powers. I'll just be honest with you. Sometimes we're written with goofy ass fucking powers. And I'll be honest with you, there's probably like 3 out of the, besides Milestone, if you're talking about that's been shown on TV, I could probably count 3 on my hand. You talking about Static Shock. You're talking about Jon Stewart. And what else? What else is there? And don't let me start on some of the comic books superheroes like Triathlon back in the day. Like, are you serious? Come on, man. So when you have like a good representation of an African American male in media, we will like to keep that going on. And with him being gone, it felt like the trailer was missing something. To be honest, it really did. I mean, you're saying like, okay, this is a Black Panther movie, but it just feels like it's missing something. And even now that you got people battling it out on Twitter and all social medias, saying that they need to recast T'Challa. I think there's a hashtag out right now saying recast T'Challa. Disney's getting scrutinized by saying that they're profiting off the death of Chadwick Boseman. This is what I saw on my Yahoo timeline this morning, that Disney's getting some backlash because they're profiting off the death of Chadwick. Because that's what it kind of feels like by not recasting him. Now, many other creators in this space, one of my friends, artist and MC, who is included in that, was saying that, hey, listen, you recast everybody else. Why can't you recast this guy? What makes him so different to where you don't want to recast him? And I'm telling you why. It's because the notion that Disney is running with is they want a female superheroes to be in the forefront of Marvel right now. They do. Females are going to be the forefront of Marvel. Anything that is considered to be masculine will be turned into the feminine. And who was so masculine in this spot right now it wasn't just Black Panther. He was the leader of his own nation. He was the leader of his people. And he was a king by birthright. By birthright. But this is where I say they just don't understand how important that was to black male geeks. We're not saying that, there couldn't have been a black female movie out there. There's plenty of black female movies. This is something where you can introduce Storm within Wakanda. Or anything. You can introduce Storm. You can introduce a lot of things in this. But for them not recasting the character is a disservice to what these books are. Disservice to what that character was. Now, I have a theory on what this movie is going to entail. Because there's a lot of things about this trailer that, set off a little bit of alarm bells in my mind. One, the first scene where you had Angela Bassett, where she said both her kids are gone. Well, Shuri was snapped away during the Thanos snap. So that's pretty much going to be in the beginning of the movie. The scene where everybody's dancing in white, I'm thinking that's the funeral for T'Challa. Because if we all know, if we've seen the African dancing, where they dance with the coffins on their shoulders, it's a celebration. It's not a moment of sadness. So that, I think that scene right there is the funeral for T'Challa. Because I think what's going to happen is Atlantis is going to attack Wakanda, and they're just going to show the Black Panther suit in probably maybe CGI or anything like that, trying to save people, and he ends up dying in the beginning of the movie. That's why I think how it's gonna happen. Like, he had already came back, because at the end of Endgame, he was back in this country. But also in Endgame, you heard them talking about their tremors under the water. That's where Atlantis comes in. That's where Namor comes from. Namor is going to attack Wakanda. I'm guessing for something they're doing in the sea that Wakanda's part of, and he's going to attack Wakanda. That's when Black Panther is going to die in the beginning of the movie. They're going to have a funeral scene. Shuri, that scene where they see Shuri cry and all that. So you're going to see this big ensemble cast going in and going to fight. At the end of the movie, that's when you see M'Baku with his I guess it looks like a hammer or staff, starts going after Atlantis. That's gonna be the big end fight scene. That's my interpretation of what's gonna go on. And that's when you're gonna see Shuri as the Black Panther. You will not see Black Panther in anything in this movie except at the end, or the female Black Panther. And you're gonna have Riri Williams, because Riri's in this. That's when you saw the lady cut out the heart of metal. That is Ironheart, and she's gonna use a prototype suit based off Stark technology in the fight to help Wakanda, because I think one of her last comics, she was in Wakanda with the people. So I think that's how it's going to play out. There are rumors that they might introduce a Black Panther from another realm, because this is the multiverse saga. I kind of doubt it. I think they're going to keep T'Challa dead. I don't think they're going to introduce another T'Challa in the multiverse. They might not. Who knows? But I think it's highly unlikely. I think they're going to stick with the female Black Panther. But I mean, I think that's how it's going to play out. Do I feel like this movie is going to be the same as the first movie? No, it's not going to make it nearly as much money. I think it will do well, but I don't think it's going to make. I honestly don't think this movie is going to do over, probably at best 500. At best, it might do about 3. It's going to be respectable because people want to see where they're taking this. A lot of people, because they remember so many fond memories of going to the first movie. But I don't think there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be repeaters like this. Because if you remember on the first movie, a lot of people saw this movie 2 to 3 to 4 times in the movie theater. It was a phenomenon. I'm talking about people going in with dashikis, white or black. You had African dances at the beginning of the movie. It was a spectacle. It was like Star Wars back in the 70s. It was a spectacle. Everybody wanted to see this movie. And you saw them, it was that much fire that was with Star Wars, that was with Black Panther 1. Black Panther 2, I don't think so. I think a lot of that has cooled down. I think with the death of Chadwick Boseman, that has put a not wanting to see this movie vibe out there. And also too, you didn't recast the character, so a lot of people are just not interested. I don't think. I mean, like I said, the trailer's good. It's one of the best trailers that Marvel has done in a while, because I was not interested in Love and Thunder, how they portrayed it. I was not interested in Shang-Chi. I was definitely not interested in the Eternals. Those trailers stunk. They were not interesting. This is the first trailer that looks like it might be interesting. But then again, it also feels like it's missing something. And that's T'Challa. So, hopefully it's good. I'm going to go watch it. Like I said, I mean, I wish they would have recast that character. I really do. I really wish they would have recast T'Challa. I don't think Chadwick would have wanted to see T'Challa go out like that. That character meant too much to people. And to see him or see them do this feels like a waste. It really do. But that's my thoughts on this whole debacle. Please let me know what you think at the bottom. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys later. Deuces.